See, they used to use Latin more in those days. Ad etist sui. 1672. This one's worn away. Buttered scones and tea, what else could I ask for? So the steeple's open, so I'll be going up there in a minute. So 6 people here today, and if you use your imagination, it's just like a scene from Midsummer Murders. There's probably a few bodies hanging underneath that church somewhere. Very nice. Might as well have a pot for the price of it. There you go. Cheers. At this beautiful church. What's the name of this church, sir?
This is All Saints Church, Theydon Garnon.
Theydon Garnon. Garnon. Right, I see, yeah.
Garnon.
So is that also a lot of Norman heritage, do you think, because the Theydon boy?
It dates back to 1200.
Wow, 1200, yeah. Because I'm looking at some of the tombstones in there, and some of them from the 17th century, so some of them are even worn away. And has the church been rebuilt since that time?
No, the tower was added in about 1500.
Right.
And that's all brickwork. And also the north aisle was added about 1650.
1650, right. Yeah, and it costs a lot of money to keep these things updated, doesn't it? Yeah. To upgrade them. And I notice you can actually go up to the top of it. Wow. I must go up there.
Tour up there, we'll go up there.
Right.
View the top.
Right.
From the top and see all the local landmarks from there.
Fantastic, yeah. And we're still quite high above sea level here, because I know in North Weir, I think we're about 450 feet above sea level.
We aren't here, so
right.
This is only about 150 feet above sea level.
Right.
And so by the time you go up the tower, the total height there is about 240 feet.
Right, right. Still quite high, yeah.
It's reasonably high, but Epping obviously is a lot higher.
Yes.
And some of the surrounding landmarks you'll see are obviously significantly higher. This is probably more down in a valley, but you can see well from it because it's at the bottom and you're looking out towards the higher points.
I see, yeah. Yeah, fascinating history, yeah. So this goes back to Norman conquest and everything, pre-Saxon times, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well thanks very much, and I'll have a look around anyway. Okay. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to going up the tower up there. Get a fantastic view of Essex apparently. I put my name down to go up. That sounds like a bit of a paradox, doesn't it? Down to go up. That's definitely a paradox. So I'm about to be taking up this steeple in this beautiful Essex church, Theydon Garnon, I think it's called, and they tell me there's not a little guy up there with a ball on his back known as Quasimodo. He left a long time ago, so I'm told I'm safe. So looking forward to the view of Essex, a view I've never seen before. Thanks. It's small. People were smaller in those days, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they were. So it's and you've actually been met by our vicar as well, so you can have a quick chat with him up there.
Oh right, oh great, fantastic.
Well, you
God,
might
this is
on the way down.
Reminds me of going up the monument in London. Yeah, it's some of these are wearing away, aren't they? These.
Oh yeah.
God, thousands of people.
Thousands of people up over the years.
Over centuries, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
stop here for you.
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Great stuff.
So that is the new steel frame where all the bells are now hung from.
Right.
And if you look up through there,
Yeah.
you can see the bells. They're upside down. They're rung up. So all the bells, can you see them?
Yes, yes.
They're green.
Uh-huh.
There's two standing, that they call standing.
Yeah.
And they're ready to be rung off.
Rung off meaning?
They're going to start to chime. So
I see.
you always have to ring the bells up to the top to
Right.
start.
Right.
And then you start from there.
Yeah.
So they're unsafe like that, so you're not allowed in here.
I see. So why are they upside down at the moment?
To ring them off.
Oh, I see. I see.
So,
yeah. Yeah, well, it's interesting stuff. I imagine it's quite noisy when they start to ring.
Oh, you wouldn't hear in here. So,
Right.
Are you familiar with how a bell works?
Not exactly, no.
Okay,
No.
so they hang like that, so the bells hang down.
Yeah.
So when the bell ringers start, they have to ring them, and they go like that.
Right.
They go like that. They go like that, and they make it bigger and bigger until they get it up to the top.
Right.
And once you're up to the top, you can then start the peal to go round to the top. Round to the top. And that's how a bell works.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then you can, if the skilled ringers take it to the top and there's a stay to stop it going too far, and they can just bring it up to the stop and hold it there, which is what they have done.
Right.
They put the bells right against the stay and they're hanging upside down.
Right.
So that's why they're like they
Oh,
are.
thanks for that information. Yeah. A lot of churches, they sometimes have electronic bells these days, don't they? I think, as opposed to...
Yeah.
which don't need so much servicing, do they?
No, they don't. But no, we're all traditional here.
Yep. The belfry, and it's got a belfry.
So you'll come up to the next
Yep.
chamber in a minute,
Well,
which is where they were originally hung, too high. This is the original place where the bells were rung from, and you can see the leather marks where the bells used to pivot.
Yeah.
And this is the original oak frame from 500 years ago.
Wow, 500 years old. So it's had a bit of creosote on it in that time, I would imagine.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
No.
Wow.
No.
Credit to the engineers of those days then. So we're looking at Henry VIII here, are we? Or just after Cromwell? Before Cromwell?
Yeah.
My God, before Cromwell.
The only thing they used to do was put the oil on the leather. There was a sort of like a leather insert into those holes. And you can see the black marks where they used to oil the leather.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the only sort of lubrication that the bells used to have.
Any idea how long ago they took them down?
Yeah, we took them down.
Oh, you took them down? All right.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
2008.
Good.
It was finished. We started in 2004.
Up again.
And we fabricated all of that frame downstairs.
God. Painstaking work. Wow.
Yeah. Right, you're not too far now.
Right. As I know, I know there's another one in Lavenham where they filmed Witchfinder General. That was used in the film.
Oh yeah, Witchfinder General, yeah.
Great film, Hammer film.
Right, you're near the top now.
I see.
Hear the air.
I can hear the air, feel it.
We have a guest.
Right. Nearly there.
He's
Nearly there.
coming up the back. Mind your head.
Yeah, right.
Well, basically, I changed the channel.
Yeah, so people were shorter in those days apparently, and suits of armour were also smaller.
Richard, are you there?
Well, here we are on top. Fantastic. Oh, what a view. That's a view of Essex I've never seen before. Look at that. Wow. Yeah. It's West Essex. Get in the motorway over there. So you can see why I think it was Wordsworth who called it the jacuzzi of the soul. Look at it, you know. That motorway wasn't there during Wordsworth's time. So, yeah. Hello, how are you? Thanks.
Hello.
It's a view I've never seen before. Great. I'm Adam. Yeah, I was driving past and I thought, what sort of people would go to a garden party in church? And people like me, I found out just afterwards. Yeah, great view.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm in North Weald.
All right.
right. Yeah.
Just down the road.
Yeah.
So that's West Essex from Theydon Garnon, his church, some church here. So you can see how the rolling hills of West Essex. East Essex is slightly lower and was marshland something about 10,000 years ago.
I showed you the bell tower on the way up. Yes, I know.
Across the St George. He was just telling me the amount of work they put into maintaining this place, and brickwork and everything, and centuries old, centuries. Theydon Garnon's off the beaten track a little bit. If you didn't see the sign there for the tea and coffee day today, you wouldn't know it was on. But it's got some special places here. I mean, how many village parishes have their own tennis court there? It looks like it used to be a school at some point. Which used to be a women's prison? Which was the women's prison?
So the building you can see over there is Hill Hall.
Yeah.
Which dates from the...
What, the one on the hill?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's got a brick building with some white...
Right.
there. And that used to be... So it was built in the late 1500s by the Smythe family.
Right.
Who also built the Church of St Michael's Theydon Mount, which is over the other side.
Right.
Which is a Grade 1 listed church, because it's one of the earliest examples of a building made with rectangular bricks.
Oh my God.
Of regular construction, unlike here where you see all sorts of all random stones and sort of cemented together into
I see.
It was the ancestral home with the Smythe family. In the Second World War, it was used as a maternity home.
Right.
So people who were from Whitechapel, rather than going to a maternity home in the East End in the war, came out here. Only for a year, and then people didn't want to come out here anymore, so it was shut.
I see.
Midwives moved back.
Right.
And then after that, it was used as a women's prison until the 1980s. When did Hill Hall stop being a women's prison?
98.
Fairly recently
Fairly
then.
recently. It's now converted to flats. We sell at retail at about 1.3 million.
That was a women's prison until 1998. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And what was the name of it?
It's just called Hill Hall.
Hill Hall, women's open prison, I take it.
I don't think it was an open prison.
Right, yeah. Because I think they're trying to basically get rid of women prisons. I think about 5% prison population, I think. Holloway. Well, that's been knocked down. It's gone. It's been demolished completely. Yeah, it's gone completely for about 2 years now. The only women's prison that's still open, I think, is Style, which is an open prison. Yeah.
Was this bit.
Right,
there.
right.
This bit, the North Aisle, was an extension in the 1500s.
Oh, I see. And so that's the new bit there, and that's the old bit. So it's called the Ladies' Chapel. Any idea why they call it Lady? Is it because they used to segregate the sexes in those days?
No, as to Our Lady. Usually you'd have a chapel to Our Lady on the side.
Oh, I see, Lady, because before the Reformation, basically.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
So in the Reformation, if you go to Waltham Abbey,
Yes.
you will see there in their Lady Chapel, elements of the Doom painting.
Right.
So lots of people, in those times, everything was painted over.
Right.
So there's been some
I see.
Here we've never really taken the paint off.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
So for the memory's sake, then, this at one time was a Catholic church, then, wasn't it?
Well, every church was a Catholic
every
church.
church,
Every
yeah.
church was a Catholic church.
So the close we've got today is a high Anglican. isn't it?
But what you'll see is on the list of vicars boards, you'll see there are some names that appear and then appear again a few years later. So when Britain changed between the Protestant and Catholic faith around the time of Mary and Elizabeth,
I see.
People had the living. They were dispossessed.
I see.
The living, and then a Protestant was then in, and then when the Catholic Queen came back, then people, so there was that sort of who were you loyal to?
Yeah.
So the old vicarage used to be that house there.
Oh, that big huge place there, yeah. Oh, wow. God, that's a big place, yeah. It's a bit like this in the Tower of London, don't it? It's quite as high, the White Tower.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that all.
No. Have you been to Lavenham where they filmed Witchfinder General? They've got a huge. They used it in the film with Vincent Price, Matthew Hopkins. Yeah. Oh, there's the bells again. Yeah. Coming down. Yeah. Thanks for all that information, Reverend. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, there it is. That's wood. It's never. I imagine they used to dip the wood in arsenic in those days to keep woodworm out of it.
I'm not sure what they did.
Right,
What they
right.
did. We have. We can. I say we can give you. Churches, other churches. So, for example, you can book Hill Hall.
Yes.
You can through English Heritage. It's owned by English Heritage.
Right.
You can have a tour of the communal areas.
Right.
Of it, and then we can also offer, because the same person volunteers for English Heritage as is part of our congregation,
I see.
a tour of St Michael's Theydon Mount at the same
Well,
time.
I'd love to do that one. Yeah.
I'll give you all the.
Because St Mary's, you can't go up the steeple in that one. It's
Which one? St Mary's.
Chigwell High Road.
Right,
Yeah. They've had that upgraded, I think.
It is. That's why we're going nice and slowly at this point.
That's
To
great.
make sure
Great job. Yeah.
that we don't.
And
over.
we're there, I think.
Well, we're at the level of the. We're at the ceiling of the ringing chamber now.
Right.
So
Right.
where the ringing happens.
Right. Bell ringing
It's probably
practice.
got another-
7:30 p.m.
2, if not 3
Right.
circuits to go.
There's some good artists in Essex. Watercolours.
These are quite a significant feature. The wood columns.
Yes.
So there's only a few Essex churches with these columns.
Right.
But if you look at the roof as well, the whole thing tipped over because the columns have not got sufficient foundations under them.
I
and
see.
in the 50s, they devised the system of a jacket that went round each column, and they hydraulically lifted them up and put
Right.
packing pieces underneath, and then they also put slabs, concrete slabs, as a foundation.
I see.
But they could only put it back so far because they were scared that the church would crack and fracture
Right.
if they really sort of levelled it up properly.
Yeah. And was this part of the original church here? Is that what they called the ladies' chapel? There is it? Where
No,
they,
that was the north aisle that was added.
That was added,
This
right.
is the main sort of area here, the nave here and the chancel. But there's also significant hatchments and monuments.
Oh, these hatchments on the wall
These
here,
are the
yeah.
hatchments on the
Fascinating,
walls.
yeah.
And also the marble
Yeah.
monuments on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
The significant one is, which we've had restored over there, up in the chancel,
Yeah.
was by a Belgian sculptor, who's the same sculptor that did one of the statues of William Shakespeare
Oh, right.
in Westminster Abbey.
Right.
So it's a
right.
significant piece of
Yeah,
sculpture
that's
up
beautiful,
there,
yeah,
and that's been
yeah.
restored. It was quite expensive to have restored, taken all down,
Yeah.
and cleaned and put back and
Yeah.
restored. But equally, the Archer memorials are significant in their detail,
Right.
and this one here as well, which is
Yeah, yeah. So were they outside at one time, do you think?
No,
those,
no,
or-
they've always been inside.
Always been inside, I
Yeah.
see. And these hatchments, how far do they date back to?
they date back to sort of 1700.
1700, wow, wow. So like coats of arms really, aren't they,
They are,
from
absolutely.
families, yeah. These very old, 1759. Some of them from the 17th century as well. There's usually a few military graves scattered around. So when this place, the Reverend was telling me, the vicar was telling me it was built, Britain was actually a Catholic country. It was before the Reformation. So today the closest we've got to being Catholic is the High Anglican Church, which is still controlled by the Anglican Church, which is the Church of England. So it's like a halfway house. The only difference is in High Anglican Church is women priests. They don't have women priests, and priests can't marry. Priests can marry, tell a lie. Catholic Church, they can't marry. So there is that connection with Catholicism. We've got the incense in there and everything. As I say, this is not a Catholic church. This is Anglican. Around about the time of the Reformation, Henry VIII.